It is, Mike, and we'll keep this a very brief overview of quite a scandal in the German media, but all the main outlets have talked about it now. Die Welt, Die Zeit, Berliner Zeitung, Focus Magazine, not Tagesschau, but one of the others, mainstream ones as well, Tagesspiegel, that's the one. They're all pointing to a scandal at Berlin Police Academy, Ruhleben. This is for the Berlin City Police Force. It's not a national training college, but a large number of Arabs and Turks have been taken on under the moniker of diversity, but they have been specifically selected, it's becoming clear, for their criminality because that's useful to white German criminals further up the system. Very much similar to what's happening in other countries across the continent now. And if you drill down a bit deeper and look at the following slide, you see that Detective Chief Superintendent Neuendorf says just because a police candidate comes from a criminal clan, known in the actual city where he's being trained, we're not going to discriminate against him. We evaluate on a case-by-case basis. And we'll take people with a minor criminal record into the police academy. This is not traditional European policing. And the actual police academy director, Jochen Zindberg, says, oh, these are young people. It's quite normal for some cadets to be bloody insolent. Rotzfrech, he says in German, which he could even translate more strongly, but at the very least, bloody insolent. He's quite prepared to accept this. It's come to a head because of a whistleblowing voicemail in which one of the cadets said, we are going to end up being beaten up here. There's cadets from these criminal fraternities fencing stolen goods, dealing drugs on campus, threatening white cadets with their revolvers. We're going to have a shootout on campus at some point. But this is all being engineered. And by whom? I think you just switched over one slide, but it's quite important to have it back, which is the lady on screen. This lady, Margarete Koppers, wanted the top slot at at Berlin Police, and she told the Siegersäule, the homosexual magazine, that she only didn't get the top slot because she's a lesbian. In fact, she's got lots of corruption against her, allegations. And there, someone's dug up this in 2012. She said, we're going to usurp the police and make it a social institution. And on the right, you have the similar thing going on in Amsterdam City Police here in the Netherlands, where Fatima Elati was paid €250,000 at least, if not more, off the books, to come up with confidential diversity advice, which has been sanitized and blacked out when it was requested under FRA legislation, in which it appears that she, like her German lesbian counterpart and like Common Purpose in the UK, was suggesting go for the minorities. And of course, that this is done in the name of diversity, but they're being over-promoted and over-recruited so that there can be a ramping up of criminality in the police force, is my reading of it, throughout Europe. And so that this cannot be quibbled with, because if you speak against it, you're against positive and affirmative action. And then we get to a point here at the end where German police are recruiting mafiosi, and a Jewish German law student here, Romai Shaker, says to the police, look, it only took me 5 minutes to find out that you have knowingly recruited into the police academy in Cologne Mohammed El-Zain, who is the nephew of a notorious Cologne crime boss. So all the signs are pointing to the fact, and Zindberg, the police academy chief in Berlin, said as much, we will knowingly recruit people from Arab and Turkish mafia clans in the name of diversity. So the fault is, again, not with Islam, is it? It's with the people who are doing this.